Nitendra telling us the story of Ramayana.
Good morning and welcome everyone. This Kirtan, as Jayanti mentioned, is a combination of stories from Ramayana and the chants and how the chants relate to the stories, and we go deeper into the consciousness of this wonderful epic. So I'll read the first story. Ramnavami marks the birth of Lord Ram on earth. The seventh incarnation of Lord Vishnu was born in Ayodhya to King Dashratha and Queen Kaushalya in the Treta Yuga. Beyond its physical manifestation, the Ramnami festival signifies the elimination of negativity and the ascension of positivity and divine power on the world. In this Kirtan today, we will celebrate the birth and life of Lord Ram and tune into the higher and divine consciousness of Lord Ram. We will go through many of his important life events and use chants to go deeper into the consciousness of those events. So this journey begins with the significance of today, which was the birth of Ram. Ram was the seventh incarnation of Lord Vishnu, also called as Narayan. This chant starts with Hare Narayana, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. And this chant also exemplifies his birth in Ayodhya, and that is why he is also referred to as Ayodhya Vasi. Ayodhya is also considered as the city where no conflicts can happen. The word Ayodhya being derived from Yud and A before Yud makes it that negative, which means no Yud. Ram also means bliss, signifying the happiness that Lord Ram bestows on all those who remember and worship him. This chant would exemplify it by using the term Anand Roop. Lord Ram is called Lord Ram Chandra because his face is as brilliant as thousands of full moon. And thus the words of our first chants are Hare Narayan, Hare Narayan, Hare Narayan, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. Ayodhya Vasi, Sri Ram Chandra, Anand Rupa, Jai Jai Ram. Jayanti will lead this chant.
Hare Narayana, Hare Narayana,
The next major event in Ramayana was when Ram met Sita. And Sita means the earth, the embodied self or the individual self. In simple language, Sita represents mind. When Ram married Sita, it signified that the pure light merged with the mind, which gave born to the human body. The real spiritual marriage within is when the mind, which is Sita, focuses on the divine consciousness, which is Ram. Let us now tune into this divine aspect of Sita as a divine mother, using the next chant, which is, "Come out of the darkness, mother, bathe me in thy light." Sunny will lead us into this chant. Taking the story further, as we all know in the epic of Ramayana, soon after their marriage, Ram had to leave Ayodhya to serve Vanvas for 14 years. In the spiritual sense, when wedded to the mind, Ram cannot live in the city of no conflicts, Ayodhya. So Ram with Sita entered the dark forest to live there. The dark forest represents the life or the world where we live, in which it is full of attraction and distractions. However, Ram being pure consciousness, he was in full control at this time. We know from the Ramayana that he went to Prayag, Chitrakoot, Panchvati, Kishkinda, Rameshwaram, and of course, Lanka. This next chant will take us into the consciousness of Lord Ram while he was in Banvas. Words of this chant are, I will be a gypsy, roam, roam, and roam. I will sing a song that none has sung. I will sing to the sky, I will sing to the winds. I will sing to my red clouds. I will roam, roam, and roam. This line repeats with saying, I will roam, roam with Om. I will be the king of the lands through which I roam. And I'll take this chant. During this time of roaming, one day Sita, which represents the mind, is attracted to the golden deer, the worldly distractions of Maya. Which means Sita, which is mind, which was meditating on Ram, which was the pure consciousness, is now being distracted by the world. Ram left Sita with Lakshman. Lakshman represents the awareness within us. Awareness, which is Lakshman, draws a line, Lakshman Rekha, to protect Sita, signifying the protection from evils and perils in this dark world. But Sita, the mind, unfortunately steps out from that protection and is captured by Ravan, which represents ego. Ravan has 10 faces because ego has different ways to attract us. So while searching for Sita, Ram and Lakshman meet Sabri. This next chant will take us to the devotion that Sabri represents. This instance in the story also reminds us that no matter who we are and what our origin is, we can all achieve great spiritual advancement. As Yoganandaji himself said, a saint is a sinner who never gave up. This story of Sabri also reminds us that it is not what we do or offer to the Lord, how big or small, things and seva that we do. What matters is with how much devotion we offer it to God. Let us now tune in to the devotion to our God and Gurus with this next chant. The words of the chant are, listen to my soul song, listen to my heart song. In secret in my soul, I will gather blossoms for thee. Dipping them in devotion, I will lay them at thy feet. Jayanti will lead us into this chant.
As we chant this chant, tune into the consciousness of Shabari, that old woman who every day collected bear for her Lord because her Guru had said he will come. And Lord Ram, when he came, there were all the sages doing all the penance and yagya. He didn't go into any of those huts. He came straight to Shabari's hut and ate the bear that she would taste and give with all her love. Let us open our hearts, become Shabari, and offer our hearts love, devotion, and the blossoms and bear to Lord Ram. For
Ramayana is not complete without the mention of Hanuman. When he was born, Lord Brahma had blessed him with many boons. The tremendous amount of powers surging through Hanuman made him a mischievous kid soon after his birth. Mischievous in his youth, Hanuman would often bother the temple priests and sages by disrupting their ceremonies and meditation in various ways. A lot of times when he would walk, there would be a lot of thumping sound which would disrupt the meditation of sages. Angered by these antics of Hanuman, they eventually cursed him that until he was reminded of his powers when the time is right, he would forget about the powers that are surging within him and would lead a normal life. But they also added a clause that whenever anyone would remind Hanuman of his glory, his powers would again rise. So after Jamavant reminded Hanuman of his powers and glory when he was explaining the power of Hanuman to Lord Ram, as per the statements of the sages, the curse broke and his powers again increased. As Hanuman exhibits extraordinary abilities in Ram's service through the adventure, including speed, strength, courage, and wisdom, the friendship between the two develops and deepens, providing ultimately that Hanuman's greatest ability is, in fact, his incredible staunch loyalty and devotion. We will now tune into the consciousness of the power and devotion of Hanuman. The words of this chant are Veer Hanuman Ati Balwan, Ram Naam Rasya Re, Prabhu Man Basya Re. Jayanti will lead us into this chant. as we continue to tune into the consciousness of Hanuman, his first task was to fly across the ocean to find the whereabouts of Sita. Hanuman had many siddhis. One of them was anima, the ability to become smaller than the smallest. Having shrunk to the size of a mouse, Hanuman ran through Lanka looking for Sita. Let us tune into this aspect of Hanuman where he looks for Sita, calling out to her with devotion. The words of this next chant are, I give you my soul call, mother. I give you my soul, soul, soul call. You can't remain hidden anymore. Give my mother a soul, soul, soul call. She can't remain hidden anymore. Come out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen, come out of my secret soul, come out of my cave of silence. In Palm Canyon, a place in US where Yogananda ji had visited in the late 1920s, while there Yogananda ji went into a deep period of samadhi. After that, he emerged from samadhi. He wrote this song. When he finished writing the song, he saw a wondrous form of Divine Mother. She appeared from out of the sky as a response to his soul call. He beheld the Cosmic Mother everywhere, and she blessed him. Let's now tune into this chant, and Kamal will lead us to it.
The first half of this chant is inwards. Slowly, we have to sing slowly. I would request all of us to join. The joy in chanting is singing loudly together and opening our hearts. So let's do this together loudly. The first half is slow, inwards. The second half is outwards with energy. Let's share that energy with everyone. And also, just quite similar to Hanumanji, we also have been cursed that we are the true children of God. We have so many inner potential. And because of our own material desires and whatever, we have forgotten those. So let's give our mother a soul call and remind ourselves who we are and go inwards. Mother, I give thee my soul, soul call. You can't remain hidden anymore. You can't remain hidden anymore. Mother, I give thee my soul. Out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen. Come out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen. Come out of my secret soul, mother, come out of my secret soul. Come out of my cave of silence, come out of my cave of silence. Come out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen. Come out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen. Come out of my secret soul, mother, come out of my secret soul. Come out of my cave of silence, come remain hidden anymore. Mother, I give thee my soul, 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 come. She can't remain hidden anymore. She can't remain hidden anymore. Come out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen, come out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen, come out of my secret soul, mother, come out of my secret soul, come out of my cave of silence, come out of my cave of silence, come out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen, come out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen, come out of my secret soul, mother, come out of my secret soul, come out of my cave of silence, come out of my cave of silence. Mother, I give thee my soul, 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 come. You can't remain hidden anymore. You can't remain hidden anymore. Give my mother a soul, 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 come. She can't remain hidden anymore. She can't remain hidden anymore. Come out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen, come out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen, come out of my secret soul, mother, come out of my secret soul, come out of my cave of silence, come out of my cave of silence, come out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen, come out of the silent sky, come out of the mountain glen, come out of my secret soul, mother, come out of my secret soul, come out of my cave of silence, come out of my cave of silence. Mother, I give thee my soul, 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 come. You can't remain hidden anymore. You can't remain hidden anymore.
Hanuman is widely considered a perfected yogi, possessing 8 siddhis. We talked about the first one, Anima, the ability to become smaller than the smallest. The other 7 are Mahima, the ability to become infinitely large. Laghima, the ability to become lighter than air. Prapti, the ability to instantly travel anywhere at will. Prakamya, the ability to achieve whatever one desires. Isitva, the ability to create or annihilate anything at will. Vasitva, the ability to control the elements of material nature. And finally, Kama Vasitya, the ability to assume any form or any shape that one desires. Though Hanuman has all of these abilities, they are all byproduct of the ultimate goal of yoga, which is to connect to the divine. Being a perfect yogi, he therefore employs them not for the satisfaction of his own senses, but in the service of the divine Ram. It was easy for Hanuman to jump and climb the trees to hide himself in the bushes or the leafy branches. He could, in addition, at his will become very small, using the first Siddhi Anima, and thus escape the attention of the guards. At last, Hanuman entered the garden. He could see an assembly of women around one Aryan lady, whom Hanuman immediately recognized as Sita. And that is when we can use the words of this chant to tune into the consciousness of this very moment, the moment when Hanuman first saw Sita. The words of this chant are, "What lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother? Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through." Varsha will lead us into this chant. And then, as we all know, the war happens and Ram defeats Ravan. At a spiritual level, Dashera, Dasha plus Hara, literally means removal of bad fate, victory over evil, and creating your own fate full of happiness, joy, and enlightenment. Dasera denotes the victory of good over evil, victory of virtue over sin, victory of God over demons, victory of goddess Durga over Mahisasur, and victory of Lord Ram over Ravan. In a spiritual sense, it is the victory of Gyan, the spiritual knowledge, over ignorance, as it is ignorance which is the main cause for bad fate, unfavorable situations, and adversities in our lives. Mahisasur, Ravan, Kans, and other demons are projections and embodiments of ego, the Ahankar. After the victory, when Ram returned back to Ayodhya and freeing Devi Sita from the clutches of Ravan, he was congratulated by everyone, saying Ram killed Ravan. But Ram said, मैंने रावण को नहीं मारा. रावण के मैं, which is ego, ने ही उसे मारा. Which meant that it is not me who killed Ravan, but it is Ravana's me, the ego, that killed him. We now tune into this inner victory, hailing Lord Ram, the pure consciousness. With this chant, the words are Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sunny will lead us to this chant. And yes, please sing along.
Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
The war is over, Ram is back in Ayodhya, and he is again the king of Ayodhya. As the king of Ayodhya, Ram gave prime importance to do his dharma towards his country and its citizens. Both as a king and as a human being, he was perfect, loving, compassionate, fearless, and considerate. He always had his subjects' well being and his country's prosperity at the forefront of his mind. Let us now tune in to the Ram Rajya, hailing King Ram. The words of this next chant are, O thou King of the Infinite, I behold thee in Samadhi, in joy and in more joy, in thy light of mellow joy. Varsha will lead us to this chant. The final chant will take us to the source of Lord Ram. That is where we started this Kirtan from. Let us tune in to where we started from, Narayan or Vishnu. Remembering that Ram and Krishna were avatars of Vishnu. So we will now tune into the consciousness of both, thus expanding our consciousness even further. With the last chant of this Kirtan, the words are Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare. Aditya will lead us to this chant. continuing to stay inwards with the consciousness of Ram and the entire epic of Ramayana and its relevance to our consciousness. We'll now clear up the altar and then you all can come for the blessing, and then we'll do a healing prayer and close this satsang.
And with that, let us share the blessings that we received today as we listen to the story of Ram and chanted to him and the Divine Mother, today being such an auspicious day. It's Ram Navami also, and the 9th day of Navratri also. We celebrated both Divine Mother and Ram in this. Let us share the blessings with all the souls who are in need. Let us pray together, Divine Mother, thou art omnipresent, thou art in all thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in all bodies, all minds, and in all souls. Let's rub our hands together. We'll chant Om 3 times. Divine love, shine on the sanctuary of our devotion. May we be able to share thy love with all whom we meet. We are thine mother. Be thou eternally ours. Bring us home to thee. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all for joining. Joy to you all. And for all of us who are here, assembled in the center, we'll go to the next room for the prasad. Thank you.